All right, guys. What we got is a 1990 Ford van. It's a big club wagon. It's got 351 in it. I'm changing the oil pump. I did this once before, and it was a pain in the ass. I want to show you guys a couple little tricks. It makes it not too bad. Of course, I got a lift, which helps, but I'm sure you read that they say to pull the intake manifold off and all that crap. I didn't do that. This one still had all that emission stuff on it. So up on top of the motor had a bunch of them, rubber hoses, and had that, still got that smog pump and all that crap. I pulled some of those hoses off the top of the motor, moved a couple little things, mainly the bracket for the throttle linkage. You get that out of the way. Undo your fan shroud bolts, 4 little bolts, pretty, that's easy to do. I pulled the air cleaner box off the top of the motor up there. Moved it out the way just to help get to the throttle cable bracket and stuff like that. I left that plenum, all that shit on there. Once you do that, then you go underneath and start with your motor mounts and all that. Let me get my light here. Take your motor mount nuts loose. Up in there, right? 2 on that side, and there was 2 on this side. The first time I did it, that's all I did was undid the motor mounts, jacked it up as high as I could. I couldn't get the pan down. I could barely get to the oil pump bolts. I fought it and fought it. I finally got it. It was just a pain in the ass. This time, by taking them couple extra hoses and stuff off the top there and that throttle cable bracket, I put my jack. I know you're not supposed to jack off the crank, but I got a pole jack here. I jacked up right on the crank, nice and easy, and jacked it up to this driver's side motor mount come up out of there, out of the bracket. And I noticed that whole bracket, that whole corner piece, that piece right there is a bolt-in piece. I took a few minutes and unbolted that whole corner. Here it is laying on the thing right there. Right, there's the motor mount. Pulled the motor mount completely off, pulled that bracket out the way, and by doing them couple things up top, I was able to jack it up, just till it touches the firewall up there. It gave me plenty of room, man. You drop that oil pan down, and it's you still got to leave the oil pump in the pan and take the 2 bolts off of your oil pump. Plus, you got a stud hanging right there on that one main cap for your pickup tube. It's pretty easy once long as you jack that motor up like that and pull this cross member out the way. It's not too bad, man. You just reach up around the corner, take them 2 bolts loose for the oil pump and that nut there on that stud, set it down the pan. The whole pan slid right out of there this time. So this time I screwed up last time, and I just I reused that sump. And that damn screen down on the end, man, was clogged up again. Well, of course, I couldn't get the pan down before. The oil pan that's sitting over there was full of garbage. I think all it was, man, all that sludge and garbage and shit just clogged up that damn screen on that sump, man. And this damn thing lost oil pressure again. I mean, it's still running. It just had the little lifter tap, and it was just real low oil pressure. So this thing's got a bunch of miles on it, but it's a little old man that drives this thing. I'm going to take a chance and put one of them high volume oil pumps in it and see if that don't help it out some. I know there's a lot of guys say they don't recommend them because they suck the oil pan dry and all that. I'd say, yeah, if you was racing it, and running a lot of high RPMs, yes, but this thing should be okay. I mean, it's got a huge oil pan anyway, and you can throw an extra half a quart or a quart of oil in that thing, and just keep your oil, a quart over on the full mark. It's not going to hurt it. If it does, I mean, I'm going to find out once I put it back together. If the old man says it starts pumping oil at the damn valve covers and shit, then we'll, we'll just pull it back apart and stick a stock pump back in it and see what that does. But now that I know how to do it, it's not that big a deal, man. Half a day, I had it all tore apart. But that's the trick, man, is getting that whole corner cross member piece that motor mount bolts to, is pull that out of there. And as you can see, man, it gives you plenty of room to get that oil pump out of there. And going back in is a little tricky. You use the one piece oil pan gasket. Get it stuck. Go ahead and glue the corners and get it up there on the motor. And then what I did last time was, and I'll do it again this time, is stick the oil pan, the oil pump. Put the pump in the pan, stick it up there. Then I'll use another pole jack. I got one of them and a little small kind like that. And I'll prop it up under there to help hold the oil pan in place. You know, just kind of, you know, rest it there, and then I can, like I say, you'll have 4 or 5 inches of room now to actually get your hands up in there and get the oil pump bolted back on. So, not too bad, you know. Like I say, just take a few minutes and pull a bunch of that shit off the top of the engine, you know, them hoses. If it's still got all that small pump crap, pull that stuff off. I can't get up to the top unless I climb up the ladder. But like I say, it's a 1990 Ford van with a 351. It's an old rust bucket piece of junk. But that's the thing, man. Just take your time, take some of that stuff off the motor. Don't go and pull that plenum and stuff off, man. You'll be 2 days trying to get that shit off of there. But hopefully this helps you guys. All right, and this is Joe with Papa Joe's Garage. See ya.